Yep. Okay. Go!
Will you hand me my screen box?
Now go.
And then we are on the record in the matter of the state of Michigan versus Raven Russell, 241653. And Detective, your name for the record, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Officer Kay Barwick.
Officer, keep promoting me before your exam. Okay. Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear from the testimony about giving this matter the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed on the warrant.
On Sunday, November 17th, 2024, at approximately 01:20 hours, Officer Saltzman of the Wyandotte Police Department was patrolling in the area of southbound 4th Street near Quarry Road when he observed the defendant's vehicle swerving, crossing over the lane markers. Officer Saltzman made contact with the driver, who was identified as Raven Russell. While speaking with the defendant, Officer Saltzman detected several clues of intoxication, including bloodshot and glossy eyes. Officer Saltzman administered standardized field sobriety tests to Russell, which showed several clues of intoxication. Russell was administered a portable breath test with the result of a .136. Russell was administered a portable breath test with the result of a .136 BRAC. Russell was placed under arrest. Officer Saltzman read Russell her chemical test rights, and she agreed to take a breath test. Sample 1 produced a .134, and sample 2 produced a .137. Per lien, Russell's driving history shows 2 OWI convictions, June in 2023 in Detroit and June 2023 in Wyandotte. Her driving history also shows multiple DWLS convictions, with the most recent being in January of 2023. Russell's driving privilege is currently revoked, and Ms. Russell currently shows 17 active warrants for her arrest, not including the 2 that she had with Wyandotte.
All right, upon examination of the complaining witness, I find that the offenses charged were committed and there's probable cause to believe the defendant committed those offenses. And counsel, your appearance, please, for the record.
Morning, Your Honor. Jordan Goldberg, P87047. I'm standing in for counsel of record, Stephen Shard, for the purposes of arraignment with Ms. Russell's consent. Is that correct, Ms. Russell?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Ms. Russell. Your name for the record, please.
Raven Russell.
All right, and counsel asks the arraignment.
She'll waive a formal reading of the charges and stand mute, Your Honor.
All right, the court will waive the formal reading, and you have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court will appoint one to represent you. And in fact, you've had an opportunity to review or to speak with an attorney, to retain counsel and speak with an attorney in a breakout room today, correct?
Yes.
Are you also the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt? You have the right to have a trial by a judge or by a jury, and you also have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing may be used against you in court. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court's going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. We're going to schedule this matter for probable cause conference on November 26th at 9:15 a.m. And counsel asked to bond.
Your Honor, I would like Russell is gainfully employed at Moochie Farms in Trenton. She's a forklift operator and clerk. She's worked for 3 years. She's very concerned that the time in which it'll take her to get rid of the scram tether while in custody will result in her losing her job. And so she respectfully requests that the court permit her to go to the scram tether office and test daily and submit tests to pretrial services until she is fitted for a scram tether.
Okay, so I'm sorry, counsel, let me just clarify something here. I did not call case numbers 231963A and then 231395. So on those matters, counsel, we're going to schedule those also we're going to waive the formal reading on those matters as well, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And the court's going to schedule those matters for pretrial on November 26th at 10:15. And I've corrected the time on the probable cause conference. It's 10:15 a.m.
10:15 a.m. Understood. Your Honor, was the initial arraignment as to a probation violation warrant then, or?
No, your client's failed to appear in this matter on all of her matters, so she hasn't even been arraigned on any of her matters. So, quite honestly, counsel, I don't see any reason why I'm going to allow your client to, on her own, go get the tether, because she's proven to this court that she doesn't appear for this court. She just keeps blowing us off. And I'm starting to take that a little personally, quite frankly, but, you know.
Your Honor, this experience has been a very, very serious wake-up call for her, and if there's any possibility that you would permit her to get the court's gram tether so as to retain her employment, you will not skip another court date. She's retained counsel in this matter and has no intention of failing to appear.
So here's the problem this court is faced with, is that while the court does have to take into consideration your client's ability to pay and your client's employment opportunities and current situation, this court also has an obligation to ensure your client's going to show up, and the court has an obligation to the safety of the public. So I think it's often forgotten that there are other parties to these crimes, whether they're small or not small. And in this matter, your client has continuously failed to appear in this court. She actually, on August 18th of 2023, was arrested for driving while license suspended. And she was scheduled for an arraignment pretrial on September 28th. While she was awaiting that pretrial, she was charged with another driving while license suspended on September 5th of 2023. And then she failed to appear for her arraignment pretrial on October 12th in that matter. And then it appears as though at some point during 2023, your client ended up with another, prior to that, in 2023, your client pled guilty to operating while visibly impaired in the Third Circuit Court, as well as possess or purchase or transport or carry a weapon without a valid license to carry such weapon. And while your client's out on bond is when she picks up the two cases in this court from 2023. Then your client still does not contact the court, does not attempt to clear up her warrant or anything of the like, and then she's arrested in this jurisdiction one more time, this time for operating while intoxicated are the allegations, and driving without a valid license. So the court counsel is not going to allow your client to go on her own to get the tether. I can assure you that.
I understand that. Thank you for your and if I would ask for a modest bond or the opportunity to post a 10% bond. I've spoken with her family. They've arranged for transportation for all things, obviously, as she cannot drive. But we'd ask for a modest bond of 10%.
Ma'am, where is it you work?
I work in Romulus.
Okay, and you live in Detroit, correct?
No, I'm in Trenton now. I just recently moved about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay, well, we have a number of different addresses. We have Southgate, and we have Detroit. So we're going to need your client's new address because even the one we have on the newest case is not her correct address. So, so ma'am, how do you get back and forth to work on a daily basis from Trenton to Romulus?
My child's father, Ian Black.
Your child's father, okay? And do you all live together or no?
Yes.
Okay. So is he your significant other or is he only your roommate and child's father?
He's my significant other.
Okay, but yeah, you chose to describe him as your child's father. Okay. So my other question, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
My other question, ma'am, is how long have you been working at?
I've been working there since March of 2022.
Okay. And how old are your children?
I have a 2-year-old and a 13-year-old.
So here's the problem, counsel. I wish that there was some device, and if somebody now develops it, perhaps they can, give some royalties back to the 27th District Court. But I wish that there was a device that if somebody doesn't have a valid license and they went into a car, it would not allow that car, that the person would have to wear a device, like a GPS tether. But then if they went into the car, it would not start the car. There'd be some electrical, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, interference, electrical interference. But that's not the case. And I don't have the wherewithal to even know how to do that, to develop that. But in any event, your client has continuously failed to appear in court, and so I am not going to give your client a personal bond. The court's going to also note that the safety of the public is severely impacted when individuals that do not have the privilege to drive, and also now this is it appears a second offense that's alleged for the drunk driving. So the court's going to, on the 241653 matter, the court's going to order a $10,000 10% bond. The 231963A matter, the court's going to order a $5,000 10% bond. And on the 231395, the court's going to order a $3,500 10% bond. With the following bond conditions: you are not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs unless prescribed. Before your release, ma'am, if you do post a bond, you are to have an alcohol tether through the Wayne County Jail. You are not to operate a motor vehicle. You do not have that privilege, ma'am. That's a privilege, not a right in the state of Michigan. You do not have that privilege. Are you still currently on probation for your matter from 2023 out of the 3rd Circuit Court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And have you missed any of your probation appointments or court dates for that matter?
I have not missed anything. I report to my probation officer every week. I just was informed 2 weeks ago. She told me that she sent everything over for the judge for me to be early released. I didn't think that I had any issues with Wyandotte at all. I thought I was with me being on probation I thought I was doing everything that I was supposed to be doing. I wasn't unaware of anything that I didn't do.
Well, the officer can see you have 17 warrants, so I have no idea what your probation officer is looking at when your probation officer is reviewing your criminal history and making sure that you are getting everything cleared up so you don't have any further issues. But the 3rd Circuit Court Probation Division is not within my jurisdiction. Officer Barwig, how many, where are those warrants out of? What jurisdictions?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe the majority of them were out of Detroit. I don't currently have the list with me. Just when I counted, a lot of them were out of Detroit and then just surrounding jurisdictions.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm not sure why you wouldn't try to clear those up or why your probation officer wouldn't have you do that. However, that being as it may, the court has issued its order regarding your bond and your conditions. Any questions, counsel? And no driving, no driving. I don't know how much more I can reiterate that. You don't seem to care that you can't drive and you still do it. So I will assure you, ma'am, do not continue to put your nose up in the air at the reality that you do not have the valid privilege to drive a motor vehicle.
I will not, Your Honor. I promise you, I've been here many a times, and I promise I just want to put this behind me. I will not drive until I'm able to, and I don't see that being fit for a while. So I will not be behind the wheel on the road for anytime soon, Your Honor, and that's my word.
Okay. And I appreciate that, ma'am, but did you hear what you said?
Yes.
You've been here many times. At some point, I think you're going to want to stop coming here.
This is it for me. This is honestly it. And it said that it had to be this many times, but I'm being honest and I do not want to keep looking over my shoulder and having to go through this. I apologize to you guys for even, for you feeling like I'm just turning my nose up or anything, but that's not the case. I just have a lot going on with life. And I'm not making any excuses because I'm gonna get ahead of it now. I promise I am. Y'all don't have to worry. You will not see me behind the wheel for anything. I do not want to go through this anymore. I just want to put it behind me, Judge.
Well, ma'am,
I'm serious from the bottom of my heart.
Okay, and I certainly hope that that actually is and I believe that that's what you intend, but I don't think that you are following through. Well, you're not following through with what your intentions are. So I'm hoping that you're going to get some sort of assistance to follow through with what your intentions are, so that you are not here again, and that you are not always looking over your shoulder when you have your kids in your car. Okay, thank you.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
You have got to be kidding me. What is going on today? This is a joke. This is a joke. Today is an absolute joke. We need an interpreter.
I need an interpreter when I cannot express myself sometimes.
Oh my God, sir, put that cigarette out. I don't give a crap that you are outside of this. What is wrong with everybody today? You know what, Miss Reed, we're going to start bringing people in person. We're going to learn how to act in a courtroom.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it?
No.
Okay.
I have no patience for that. And trust me, after today, I'm sitting up here, I'm the one that needs a drink.